Hey guys, so for this tutorial we're going to be covering the basics of Netbeans, which is a really easy to use GUI building tool for Java. So before we get started, we need to download two pieces of software, and the first one is a Java development kit. So we just have to type in JDK into Google and click on the first link that shows up. I will provide all the download links in the description. So the latest version of the JDK is 7U13. Now we do not want this one because it causes problems with the setup package that we're going to be using later. So we're going to scroll down and look for Java SE6 update 39. We're just going to click download. So we have to accept the license agreement and then pick the operating system that you use. I use Windows 64-bit, so I would download that. If you use Linux 64-bit, you would download that. So while that's downloading, we also need to get Netbeans. Just type in Netbeans into Google and click on the first link. So the latest one is Netbeans 7.2, and all we have to do is click on download, and you'll find a whole bunch of bundles. Now they all do the same except for the C or C++. That's obviously not Java, which is not what we want. So we're going to go for the simple edition, and that's only 77 megabytes. It has everything that we need for all our projects. So you just have to click on download, and I already have this, so I'm just going to close this window. Now we can get started into Netbeans, so let's open it. Okay, so this is how your Netbeans should start up. You might have a welcome screen, but you can just close that. So the first thing we're going to do is create a new project. On the top left hand side you can see File, New Project, and in the categories you want to go with Java, Projects, Java Application. Click on Next, and we can name this anything that we want. Now since Valentine's Day is only 4 days away, I'm going to do something along those lines. So I'm going to call this Valentine's Project. Now you can name this thing anything you want. It's not going to affect anything in the future, and you can leave everything standard except for this where it says create main class. We do not want to create a main class, so we're just going to untick that. Click on finish. On the left hand side we can see a few folders and everything. Now what we want to do is first check if we are using the correct JDK, which we downloaded earlier. So we have to right click on the one that has a copy cup next to it, which is our main project. So right click on Valentine's project, go down to properties, and we're going to click libraries on the left hand side. Now you may see you have JDK 1.6 or 1.7. We want to make sure we chose 1.6, so just click on that and we're going to click OK. Now we're going to expand the source packages file. So click on the plus icon on the left hand side, and you should see we have a default package. Now Netbeans recommends we don't use a default package to put all our files, pictures, JFrames, or any of that in there. So we have to right click on that, new Java package, and just by habit I name them all app package. You can name it anything you want. Click on finish. Now you can see nothing happen except we have this new package called app package. Now obviously we want to see our frame, so right click on app package, go to new, and it's right here, JFrame form. So click on that. Now it asks us for a class name. Now I'm just going to name this start GUI. Basically whenever you create a JFrame you want to have the letters GUI, which stands for Graphical User Interface, at the end of it. So if you have a whole lot of files or folders, you know which one's which. So start GUI. Now you can see we have a few more things on our screen, and this is the main thing right here. You can see that we can drag it to any size that we want, and our width and height is specified on the corner right where I'm moving my mouse. So I'm just going to create something about that big. Now the way we want to actually start up and see our progress, we can use the design view, preview design, which starts up like this. Now this is not the best way to do it. We might as well just clean and build a project and run it so we can see what it actually starts up and look like. So we're going to click this hammer and this brush, I guess, which is called clean and build. So bottom left it says finish building Valentine's project. Now we can click on the green play button and select the main class, which is the first one. That's the only one there. And on the top left hand side you can see we have a window. Now this is the start of our application. On the left hand side you can see we have a copy cup, and we can click on close, which everything works fine. Now the problem, as you can see, is in design view it starts up in the middle and it has this text on the top, whereas if we run it, it starts up in the left hand side. The run function is more accurate than the preview function. So now let's move on to some properties of this JFrame, which is what we call it, and this will house all our panels, labels, anything of that nature. So I'm just going to delete those. Nothing. We want to set up a few properties. So we're going to click on our JFrame, right click down there, properties, and this is our JFrame properties. Now default close operation. Now this is what it does when you click the red X. Now we want it to exit on close, which means that the entire program will be cleared out of the RAM and it will be closed. So you can also have it do nothing if you don't want people clicking the red X. Dispose, which will hide only the current open GUI, which will be very useful in the future, as we will see. Now the title is quite a nice feature. Now because we have something named Valentine's Project, we're going to just type in Valentine's Day gift, and I'm just going to close this and show you what it looks like. Run this, and you can now see on the top left hand side it says Valentine's Day gift. Now you can put whatever you want in there. So let's go back to the properties. Always on top, we won't fill it with that right now. Now resizable is something that might cause problems in the future. Now when I build my programs, I usually never have it as resizable, so I always make that false, so untick that. Now you can see we no longer can resize this in any direction. So once we have that, we also realize that it's running on the top left hand side, which is pretty inconvenient. We want it to start in the middle of our screen, so we're going to go back into properties. Now we aren't going to fiddle around with the properties anymore. We're actually going to go on to the code tab on the top right hand side, and we can see form size policy. We're going to change generate pack to generate resize code, and we're going to generate center, a tick, generate size. We're going to untick that. Click on close, clean and build, and run it, and now you can see it starts up in the middle of our screen. Now in the next tutorial we'll be playing around with all of these functions on the right hand side, swing menus, OK buttons, which look like that, and we'll be adding a background to our program so it looks a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. Thanks for watching.